Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin is pumping back in the green. Make some noise for that. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis and latest price targets, as well as breaking news. $290 billion Zurich Cantonal Bank launches Bitcoin and crypto offerings. Also, Japan to drop the maximum tax rate on Bitcoin and crypto from 55% down to 20%. We'll also be discussing Starlink confirms it will block access to X in Brazil. That's right, the SpaceX subsidiary claimed that the Brazilian Supreme Court decision was illegal, but it would comply by suspending access to the social media platform. We'll also be discussing breaking news. The FBI warns of North Korea social engineering schemes to steal the Bitcoin ETF. BTC. We'll also be discussing TradFi companies want to transact in Bitcoin, says Cantor Fitzgerald, CEO. That's right. $13 billion Cantor Fitzgerald says big banks and brokerage companies will go head first into the biddy. It's a coming. We'll also be discussing interesting Bitcoin price prediction from NBA legend Scotty Pippen. He says he had another dream where Satoshi appeared in his dream and gave him this price prediction. I'll be sharing it with you. We'll also be discussing the latest with $108 billion investment firm VanEck predicting a $2.9 million Bitcoin price by this particular date. That's right. This is according to their executive summary. I'll be breaking it down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this, plus so much more in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes and go ahead and subscribe. It's free to do so. It only takes a half a second. And also hit that bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. Today is pod 1750. I'm your host, JV. It's September 4th, 2024. Happy Wednesday, hump day. And let's kick it off with our market watch. Good to see the Bitcoin price action back in the green. As we can see here on Coin360, Bitcoin currently trading at 58,300 at the time of the live stream. We have Ether up 0.25%, but still under 2,500. We have Solana up 2.5%. Even XRP in the green, getting a warm piece of the sidewalk. And Cardano and ICP is actually up 5%. We also have Injective, Aave, and Uni as some of the top gainers. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap, barely sitting above 2 trillion. It's 2.03 trillion to be exact. And the Bitcoin market cap, $1.15 trillion. We got roughly 73.5 billion worth of volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance maintaining 56.4%. Ether dominance maintaining at 14.5%. And yes, there's 2.4 million cryptos. Let that sink in. And the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we have Aave leading the pack, followed by Stark, followed by Popcat, followed by INJ and WIF. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubble so we get a visual perspective on the day. And as you can see, everything just flipped from in the red to in the green, just like that. And when I initially pulled this up was roughly 2 hours ago when I was prepping for the show. So within 2 hours, the whole market flipped from red to green. Welcome to crypto, fam. And zooming out on the monthly, similar story. Love to see it. Impressive gainers after a pretty damaging past 3 months. I mean, finally, the alts have recovered some. Some of these alts up anywhere from 10% to 110%. As you can see, HNT up 111%, Sats up 75%, Popcat 90%. Just across the board, everything pumping once again. Even XRP up 23% on the month. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Honestly, I was hoping we'd go in extreme fear because we've been on the cusp of it for the past week. We even hit a 26 yesterday and the day before. But unfortunately, we went a little higher. Today we're at 27 in fear. Why do I want a lower rating in extreme fear? Because the lower we go, the more likely of a big pump. And 25 and lower is extreme fear, just FYI. And checking out the time chain calendar. We're currently on Bitcoin block number 859,854. Roughly 190,146 blocks to go until the next halving, scheduled to take place April 2024. Currently, you can trade $1 for 1,737 Satoshis. Not too shabby. That's a hell of a trade trade. You can probably become a Bitcoin Satoshi millionaire. I'm going to speculate for roughly $500 at today's trade. But there you have it, yo. So yeah, here's the latest here. Headline reads, Bitcoin price eyes relief rally to 61,000 after downside liquidation. Wipeout. That's right. You're looking at the one-day chart here. Bitcoin price witnessed a sharp correction at the start of each month in quarter 3 of 2024. The first 7 days of July and August saw a drawdown of 12.5% and 16%, respectively. September is following a similar tone, but it's important to note Bitcoin also recovered swiftly to form lower highs in the following weeks. Bitcoin's open interest also dropped 12% from $34.7 billion to $30 billion over the past week, which is a net positive considering the current market conditions. Rising open interest when price moves sideways after a flash crash indicates a more short position is being opened, and multiple days of negative funding rates after August 5th confirm the bearish bias. Hence, the drop in open interest over the past week suggests the short leverage traders could be nearing the exit until a clearer opportunity rises. Moreover, liquidations have also significantly decreased since the beginning of August, with a Bitcoin crash to 49,000, which liquidated $1 billion, after which liquidations remain close to $150 to $200 million or under. The exception is on August 27th with 300 plus million in liquidations, which was the second largest liquidation event in the month after August 5th. So overall, decreasing liquidation means that the price action is possibly forming a bottom, which leverage positions exiting the market. Now, Bitcoin's recent drop under 56,000 has raised several liquidation clusters, which were also tapped at the beginning of August. As observed in the liquidation heat map you can see on your screen, Bitcoin's latest drop cleared out a significant amount of liquidation leverage positions, over $455 million. Liquidations and liquidation leverage are different in the sense liquidations are a permanent loss, while liquidation leverage represents the value of the positions. For example, due to the leverage trading, $1 million in liquidation might represent 10 million in positional value. And with downside liquidity currently dried up until 49,000, the next concentrated liquidation positions are around $61,000, an example worth over $500 billion. In other words, a rebound is becoming increasingly likely in the short term. Now, credible crypto independent trader shared that he expects a similar outcome after Bitcoin took out the recent liquidity wicks from August 15th. Quoting him here, "We have now hit my downside target, so hopefully this just means we are now ready for what the relief rally sooner rather than later." Nice wipe on the open interest here, but no immediate signs of buyers stepping in just yet. Meanwhile, from a technical perspective, Bitcoin's price action did not execute strength after the correction. However, the conditions remain prime for recovery as a couple of bullish signals were observed. And in fact, I'm going to be pulling up some of these live charts, but here's what some of the analysts say. Firstly, a liquidity sweep at 55.7 has been tested from August 15th. So if the price fails to make an instant recovery, the next demand zone is between 54.5 and 55.5, should be the next big support area. And secondly, a bullish divergence between the price and the RSI has been observed. And while Bitcoin has made lower lows, the RSI is indicating lower highs, which means a reversal could be on the cards. Also like to point out, Bitcoin hit yet another all-time, the hash rate hit a new all-time high yesterday as well, which is typically a very bullish indicator as it's a lagging indicator for the price action. And in other breaking news before I pull up the live charts, 290 billion Zurich Cantonal Bank launches Bitcoin and crypto offerings. Can you say bullish? As well as Japan says they're going to be dropping the maximum tax rate on Bitcoin and crypto from a whopping 55% to 20%. That's progress. And pulling up some of the live charts via TradingView, via Coinbase. I mean, looky here. This is the 1 hour. You can see on your screen. Let me clean it up for you. You can see we're currently at 58,300. 3 green consecutive candles on the hourly chart. 2 of them pretty significant, as you can see. It looks like the current bottom is in at 56,800. We bounced pretty significantly from there, as we can see in the 1 hour chart. And we'll look at some different outlooks as well. Let's go to the 4 hour. Again, this is live and in the flesh via TradingView, Coinbase. We do have that big green 4 hour candle. We have another green candle forming as well, live and in the flesh. Again, another good sign of that bounce from the 56 area. Checking out the 1 day chart. You can see it's been red, green, red, and today, if history is to repeat the pattern, it's going to be green. Red, green, red, green, red, green. And we do have a target, though, you need to be aware of, sitting at 47,700. Again, that's on the daily chart. The current bottom we hit 2 weeks-ish ago was 49. I personally feel the bottom is already in, but let me know your thoughts. And checking out the weekly chart, we have the sexy cup and handle $125,000 target, looking sexy as all hell. I think we hit that most likely in quarter 4, which would be sometime between October and December, here coming up roughly a month out. And zooming out on the monthly, again, a lot of sideways trading action on the month. June, July, and August were red pretty much monthly candle closes. We'll see where the month of September, will it be a September bull or will it be a September bear? Next story, let's discuss this Starlink Brazil saga. Headline reads, Starlink confirms it'll block access to X in Brazil. Oh no. Starlink, the satellite company controlled by SpaceX CEO Elon, said it was complying with a Brazilian court order to block the social media platform in X in their country. In a September 3rd X post, Starlink claimed that a court ruling suspending X in Brazil was illegal, explicitly targeting Alexandre de Moraes, one of the country's Supreme Court justices. On August 30th, he ordered X suspend in Brazil after Musk refused to name a legal representative for the firm's operations in the country, a decision later upheld by the panel of the 5 justices of the Supreme Court. Quoting them here, regardless of the illegal treatment of Starlink and freezing of our assets, we are complying with the order to block access to X in Brazil, said Starlink, again, Musk's company. We continue to pursue all legal avenues, as are others who agree that Moraes' recent orders violate the Brazilian Constitution. And here's the X post coming directly from Starlink. Starlink said it had already started legal proceedings opposing the court order that also froze its assets in Brazil. The court order stemmed from an investigation spearheaded by Moraes into alleged misinfo propagated on X around the former Brazilian president, Jair Bolsonaro. And according to the justice, X could remain suspended in Brazil until the social media company pays fines more than $3 million. Now, I'm just thinking out loud, but why doesn't Elon just pay the $3 million in fines? Is it because then you're admitting wrongdoing and you don't believe he did any wrongdoing and it goes against the Constitution? Again, just thinking out loud, asking a question. Let me know your thoughts. Many X users criticize the decision on social media as an overreach of authority and an attempt to suppress Brazilians' freedom of expression. And though many Brazil-based X users reported they could access the platform using a VPN, Moraes' order also imposed fines of up to 50,000 reals, which is 8,900 USD, for circumventing the lockout. So clearly, for those that don't know, there's something called the VPN, virtual private server. Anyone can access anything because it changes your IP, your internet address property changes to a different location. So for example, real life story. I used to live in China back in 2010. I taught English there for 13 months. All social media networks from the mainland were blocked from, I'm talking about United States. X back then was Twitter, was blocked. Facebook was blocked. YouTube was blocked. Every major network was blocked. So they have the Chinese version of every social media network. So instead of like YouTube, they have Youku. Instead of Google, they have their Google version. They have a Chinese version to every United States platform. So long story short, I use the VPN. It's maybe $10 a month and you can access anything. So what they're saying in that story is people in Brazil can use a VPN, but they're so authoritarian that they're going to impose fines of $8,900 in US dollar equivalent to their 50,000 Brazilian reals for anyone who gets caught using a VPN. Now, I'm going to assume that's like the average person in Brazil's annual salary, because I know they don't make a lot of money. So that's pretty crazy, wouldn't you think? But anyways, let me know your thoughts. But yeah, yo, welcome everyone joining the stream. This is an interesting story. It caught my eye the other day. In fact, I reposted it. FBI warns that North Korean hackers are attempting to steal Bitcoin and crypto funds from the ETFs. First thing that came to my mind, just thinking out loud. FBI must be so frustrated right now, knowing North Korea stole their master plan of stealing all the Bitcoin, ETF, BTC. How long have I been preaching that eventually the United States is going to ultimately confiscate all the Bitcoin, ETF, BTC in the name of national security? Max Kaiser was the first to make the prediction, and the more I think about it, in just my humble opinion, it just makes a lot of sense. So I find this ironic. But anyways, let's read deeper into the story. The US FBI has issued a warning to employees at digital asset firms regarding the latest attempt by North Korea to steal crypto. In a September 3rd notice, the FBI said North Korean malicious cyber actors were targeting workers at decentralized finance and crypto companies to steal funds through complex and elaborate social engineering campaigns. Another thing I must state for the record, just because this is a headline and they claim this, I don't necessarily believe it just because the FBI claims it. It could be nothing more than FUD. I honestly don't know, and that's why I'm reading you the story right now. So, yeah, specifically, the federal agency warned that the scammers had research firms associated with crypto-tied ETFs. So here's how the scam allegedly works. The actors employed schemes including fake offers of employment or investment opportunities and impersonating well-known individuals associated with certain technologies to trick the users. The scammers may then provide a link to a pre-employment test or another download to install malware. The actors usually attempt to initiate prolonged conversations with prospective victims to build rapport and deliver malware in situations that may appear natural and non-alerting, said the FBI, quoting them here. The actors usually communicate with victims in fluent or nearly fluent English and are well-versed in the technical aspects of the cryptocurrency field. Now, since 2017, North Korean hackers have stolen roughly $3 billion in crypto using such schemes. The Lazarus Group, a group of hackers tied to the reclusive nation, has allegedly been responsible for many high-profile attacks targeting crypto users. The FBI has issued several warnings related to crypto scammers, including those impersonating employees of the crypto exchanges and targeting users to compromise their accounts. In June, the federal agency said malicious actors have posed as employees of law firms offering fake crypto recovery services. Now, the other reason I speculate that the reason I don't necessarily trust an article or anything coming from the FBI is, what if they're just making it all up and there's some other ill intention to create some sort of conflict with North Korea, which seems to always be a constant thing they're always doing anyways. And also, another thought comes to my mind, just because I don't trust the U.S. government so much, is like, in my opinion, the government would welcome hackers to steal the crypto if they can steal it, because they don't want people holding the crypto. They want chaos. They want bad actors, and they want people's crypto to get stolen. That's just, in my opinion. I could be wrong. This is all allegations. I'm just thinking out loud how much I distrust these United States three-letter organizations. I wouldn't put it past them if, so if they got information that another country wanted to hack crypto, I don't think they'd give us a warning. I think they'd help that country hack the crypto. Is that crazy for thinking that? Am I the king of the tinfoil or what? But why do I think this way? Please help me. But anyways, let's continue with the news. We discussed the FBI warning. Now let's discuss the TradFi Cantor Fitzgerald, big news. TradFi companies want to transact in Bitcoin, says Cantor Fitzgerald CEO. Howard Lutnick was picked by Donald Trump to chair his presidential transition team last month. And this was also just in. $13 billion Cantor Fitzgerald says the big banks and brokerage companies will go head first into Bitcoin. And Max Kaiser reminds us, Employee of the Month right here for helping with Bitcoin adoption. So shout out Howard Lutnick. Thanks for being the Bitcoin Employee of the Month. And he also tweeted here, over the last 5 years, Bitcoin has been an outsider to the TradFi community and is only now dipping its toe into global finance. Cantor will help TradFi bring Bitcoin all the way in. TradFi wants new asset classes and Bitcoin is here to stay. Again, this is pretty big news, so let's break this down a little deeper. Cantor Fitzgerald CEO Howard Lutnick, and he also met more recently with Bukele. I know we shared pictures with them and Max. Said traditional finance, we know as TradFi companies, want to transact in Bitcoin as the new asset class, but are being held back by existing requirements by those damn pesky regulators we know as Claire Gare and the SEC. Lutnick said on X that Bitcoin was an outsider to the TradFi community, only now dipping his toe into the global finance. Toes, let's get a dipping. Quoting him here, if a bank were to hold your Bitcoin, they would have to set aside their own money equal to that amount. sort of, in jail. That's why they don't hold it. But if the regulatory environment was good, you will see all the traditional financial companies go head first into Bitcoin. Head first, yo. As well as being the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, which unveiled its plans to open a Bitcoin financing business in June. Lutnick, also picked by the pro-crypto Republican candidate Trump to chair his presidential transition team. Let's go. Cantor Fitzgerald, which owns a shitload of the Bitcoin, according to Lutnick, plans to launch its Bitcoin financing business with $2 billion in lending, providing leverage to the Bitcoin holders. It already handles U.S. Treasury trading with stablecoin issuer Tether USDT. So there you go. Shout out to the employee of the month, the one and only Cantor Fitzgerald. We appreciate that, guy. Appreciate you being the employee of the month. But yeah, speaking of Scotty Pippen, here's the latest with him. But let me start with a tweet I wrote. Oh boy, last time Satoshi allegedly visited Scotty in a dream, he began promoting a Bitcoin. And this is the actual tweet from Scotty. He shared it yesterday, got 1.4 million views. And of course, he's going to promote his Ishcoin right underneath this initial post. Satoshi Nakamoto visited me in a dream last night and predicted that Bitcoin would be at 84,650 on November 5th, 2024, not financial advice. So first and foremost, I don't believe Scotty. I don't believe he really had a vivid dream where Satoshi came and visited him, because he's used this before. However, again, allegedly, I don't know. I don't know Scotty Pippen. I've never talked to him a day in my life. I'm just speculating and thinking out loud. Here's why. Again, I think it's BS. Below the post, obviously, he's getting all this attention, 1.4 million views, and then he can't help but promote his own token here. Ball is here to stay. Our iconic 1991 championship game-winning Ball is now a crypto, leading the future of RWA with projections from 8 billion to 2 trillion by 2030. Doubt at your own risk. This revolution is unstoppable, and Ball we trust. So allegedly, they took the Game 5 Ball, they tokenized it, and people can own a piece of it through the Ball token, I'm assuming. I'm speculating that's how it works. I honestly don't know, so let's dive a little deeper into the story. So yeah, Scotty Pippen, considered one of the greatest ball players of all time, revealed to his 600,000 followers he had a dream with Bitcoin creator Satoshi, in which I just read to you. Again, his prediction is Satoshi told him Bitcoin's going to hit roughly $85,000 on election day, November 5th this year. Personally, would I love to see that? Absolutely. Send it and let's freaking go. However, I don't personally think he really had a dream, and I think he is just trying to sell his Ball token. That's just my 2 cents. But here's what he wrote. Michael Jordan trusted you, so I'll trust you. And these are actually comments of people from the post. Teach their own. I don't trust anybody. Jordan and Pippen were both part of the Chicago Bulls dream team in the 90s when the club won 6 NBA championships. Other ex-users, though, were left baffled by the post, with some assuming Pippen's account might have been hacked. No, this is real because he's promoted it before. Bitcoin's price, as you know, was currently correcting. We're at roughly 58,000 at the time. So we'd have to rally quite a bit, by roughly 50% in 2 months, to reach the target that Pippen shared from the dream. One important factor that may trigger a bull run is the potential pivot from the U.S. Fed. The Central Bank of America is expected to lower the interest rates after its next FOMC meeting, scheduled September 18th in 2 weeks. Thus, following the example of Bank of England and the European Central Bank, which already lowered the benchmark, reducing the rates will also make money borrowing cheaper, could increase the investor interest and risk on assets such as BTC. It's also worth noting the U.S. presidential elections are also scheduled for November 5th. The outcome of the voting could have a major impact on the Bitcoin and crypto market, since one of the leading candidates, Trump, has shown pro-crypto stance as of late, promising to let the industry drive, starting with firing Gary Gensler on day one of the job. Specifically expresses desire for the U.S. to become a global crypto leader and establish a national strategic reserve for the biddy. And according to the current estimations, Trump has the upper hand, collecting 51% of the votes versus 47% from his main opponent, Kamala. But there you go, yo. Let me know your thoughts regarding, Scotty Pippen, his dream. Do you believe him? Do you believe his prediction? Let me know your honest thoughts. And there you go. Now for our feature story of the day. Major asset manager VanEck, worth $108 billion, is predicting a $2.9 million Bitcoin price by this particular year. Yet, many people remain bearish. So let's break this baby down. And welcome everyone just joining the stream. So as you can see here, Yeah, so this tweet reads, and the executive summary coming from VanEck, $108 billion investment firm VanEck is predicting a $2.9 million Bitcoin price by 2050. And here's the article that was just written. VanEck envisions 2.9 million per Bitcoin by 2050. So let's break this down. In a recent update, VanEck, the massive asset manager, projected that by the year 2050, which is in 26 years, the Bitcoin price could solidify its position as a key international medium of exchange, potentially becoming one of the world's reserve currencies. This assertion is rooted in the anticipated decline in trust in current reserve assets, prompting a shift towards more stable alternatives, such as the Biddy. One of the primary barriers to Bitcoin's widespread adoption has been its scalability issues. However, VanEck anticipates that these challenges will be addressed through developments of layer 2s, which will enhance Bitcoin's functionality and efficiency, such as the Lightning Network being a layer 2 example. By combining Bitcoin's immutable property rights, that's right, Bitcoin is immutable, nobody can change it, with the advanced features of L2 solutions, VanEck envisions a global financial system better equipped to meet the needs of the developing world. And with this in mind, the firm believes that by the year 2050, in 26 years, Bitcoin could be used to settle 10% of international trade and 5% of domestic transactions, leading to central banks potentially holding 2.5% of their assets into Bitcoin. Now, hypothetically, what if they were to hold 5% of their assets into Bitcoin? Does that mean we can double up the number and hit a $5.8 million Bitcoin? Maybe so. Now, based on the projections of global economic growth, Bitcoin demand, and turnover, VanEck estimates a potential price of $2.9 million per Biddy, which translates to a total market cap of approximately $61 trillion. Wow, that's 61x, because right now the Bitcoin market cap is only 1 trillion. That's crazy. This forecast incorporates assumptions around the global trade landscape, with trade growth expected to lag behind the overall gross domestic product growth, projected at 2% versus 3%. Moreover, VanEck anticipates a market share decline in traditional currencies, such as the US dollar. In fact, Max Kaiser came out, I shared the story the other day on the pod, that he projects the dollar crashing within the next 6 months, which means we can hit these targets a lot sooner than later. Now, so due to the deteriorating economic fundamentals, which would allow Bitcoin and other emerging currencies to gain traction, as you know, the US dollar and the euro aren't doing so great. Even the Japanese yen is being demolished right now. The renminbi over in China. So, I mean, fiat is destined to return to its original intrinsic value, which is 0. And from a medium of exchange perspective, VanEck suggests that Bitcoin could capture 10% of the cross-border payments and 5% of the domestic trade. The firm also highlights that Bitcoin becomes increasingly recognized as a store of value. Approximately 85% of the circulating supply may be effectively removed from the market, further driving its value. So there you have it. I'm back to VanEck's executive summary. I'm just going to read this out loud to you. This is coming directly from VanEck. It is conceivable that by 2050, Bitcoin be used to settle 10% of the global international trade and 5% of the world's domestic trade. This scenario would result in central banks holding 2.5% of their assets in BTC. Using assumptions about global growth, investor Bitcoin demand, and Bitcoin's turnover, we apply a velocity of money equation to suggest a potential price of 2.9 million per Biddy, translating to a total market cap of $61 trillion. Applying our existing framework for valuing Ethereum layer 2s, we estimate that the Bitcoin layer 2s could collectively be worth 7.6 trillion, approximately 12% of the Bitcoin total value. So there you have it, yo. Let me know if you agree or disagree. A $2.9 million Bitcoin price off of a 2.5% allocation, and that's by the year 2050, within 26 years. Personally, I think that's extremely bearish. I'll keep it 100. I think we hit the 1 million 7-figure milestone in 2029. I think if the dollar hyperinflates, we could potentially hit a 2 million Bitcoin by 2030. You know what I mean? Or 3033. I think way before 2050, personally. But let me know your thoughts, and welcome, family, to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Make some noise and let's go. I'm going to read all your comments out loud. Greg says 2.9 million by 2050. She's ultra conservative. If Bitcoin does what it has in the past 3 halvings, it goes up approximately 2 fib levels. The 1.114 equals 400,000. The 1.236 equals 3 milli. All by the next halving. 3 million by the next halving. Now we're talking. Thank you for keeping it bullish, Greg. I respect that.
And I really love CoffeeZilla. I hope the Logan Paul suit is dismissed, like Elon. Yeah, so Coffee's smart, though. He has a following of millions of people. It was actually the him exposing Logan that blew up his channel and gave him millions of extra subscribers. I think he had less than 1 million subs, correct me if I'm wrong, pre that Logan 3-part series on CryptoZoo, and now he has like millions. So he started selling merch, and he's selling merch to raise money for his legal defense, because it could cost $1 million to fight a frivolous lawsuit like that, believe it or not. It's kind of sad, but at least he has the support to back him. And it's sad. He thought he had defamation insurance, and he ended up not having it, and that's why he has to come out of pocket, allegedly, to pay for this lawsuit that Logan Paul launched against him. But like I said, he's already raised a significant amount of funds, according to CoffeeZilla's own words, by selling merch. So thank God for merch, eh?